You already know what time it is. It's your boy DJ Richie Skye back with some tea, interviews, recaps, and more. And be sure to check the links in the description of this video for trips, for books, one-on-one sessions, and more. Now let's get into the tea. Smack it up, flip it, rub it down. Oh no. It ain't funny. Okay. It is not funny. It about as literally not funny as this pimple on my face. Okay. About as literally not funny as the pimple on my face. Go figure, right? Go figure. Going live, pimple. All right. I see some of y'all commenting about the title. Yes, there was a Mollywopping that happened last night on Basketball Wives. And we're going to talk about whether or not it was deserved or not. Do you think that the Mollywopping was deserved? Let us know in the chat. Also, your stuff is on the screen, okay? So that means keep it clean, keep it cute, or else we're going to have to hit the mute. All right. And yes, like the video. Like the video. All right. Lot to cover today. Lot to cover today. I'm reading through your comments. Good morning to y'all. Good morning. Let us know where you're watching from. Let us know where you're watching from as well. All right. Let us know. And let us know if the Mollywopping was warranted. So, y'all, let's get into the continuation of the disintegration of the friendship of Porsha and Shamea. I literally wanted the two of them yesterday to just like put down the phone, like step away from the phone, please, for your sake, for our sake, for the mama's sake, for the sisters' sakes. Put the phone down, ladies. Put the phone down. What we are arguing about now is whether or not Shamea's first ceremony that Porsha attended was a traditional wedding or was it just a dowry ceremony? To be quite honest with you, I don't know enough of the cultural meanings, but to say like what, okay, is that how you interpreted this? It sounds like Porsha interpreted it as the wedding, as a part of as part of the wedding. Shamea does not consider it the wedding. So Porsha claims that Shamea is lying yet again. She claims the flowers were for her birthday. When the card I sent clearly said congratulations, going out sad, sis, delulu. And then Porsha says you better not edit it either. Yes. Now, to be fair, Shamea didn't say you sent the flowers for her birthday. She said you sent the flowers her birthday week. So I think there's the distinction that needs to be made there. But, you know, it gets even deeper as Porsha, I think, educates us on the traditional marriage ceremony, the customary wedding. She said, I guess it's maybe pulled from some source. It says this is often considered a wedding in many Kenyan cultures, involves rituals like dowry payment, bride price, family introductions, and blessings. It's a respected form of marriage, even if it isn't legally registered with the government, may not include a white dress or church, but is deeply rooted in culture. She then says, Shamea, like I said, I was happy to be in your first wedding. Um, to be honest with you, yet again, I don't know. I don't know, y'all. Like, all I know is the lady is married. And I respect the culture too much to try to even interpret what the semantics are between these two ladies. All I know is that they have unfollowed each other, and it's probably for the best. Just don't ever speak again. All right, as far as I'm concerned. And to be quite clear, I feel like we all could see that this was the route that the friendship was headed down with from the very beginning of the season. I think we just knew. We've been saying this since episode 1. Period. All right, the next thing that we need to discuss is the great Judith Leiber caper. Okay. Now, Shamea, and yet in my latest put down the phone diary posted yesterday, Drew Sidora with them fake receipts. It was a nice bag, sis, as I see you have the knockoff version as well. She posted a side by side of Drew's bag and then the real Judith Leiber bag. But the problem is, someone asked and tagged Judith Leiber, New York, and asked, does this bag belong to you or Shop Akira? I bet these pics be gone before the sun come up. Judith Leiber then responds and says, this is the Judith Leiber Couture Martini Cosmopolitan bag. Why did somebody say Shamea getting dog walked from the window to the walls? Someone else says Shamea getting whacked left and right. The purse one didn't quite land, I think, the way that maybe Shamea thought it would land. And ergo, it made her look just extra petty. And it made her look petty and wrong. So there we have it with that. All right. Just wanted to update you on that because I wanted to talk about it yesterday, but I felt like, we had already gone through so much yesterday. Malcolm Jamal Warner we found out Malcolm Jamal Warner passed. I just couldn't get back on the internet. I couldn't do it. I just couldn't. I couldn't. I don't know why that thing sent me into a spiral yesterday. It literally sent me into a little spiral. I was literally like, oh God, what in the world? So no, we didn't talk about it yesterday. So we talked about it today. Sending prayer and love to his family. Oh, for some reason that it just made me feel so distraught yesterday. It threw me off. My day was thrown off yesterday anyway with all the Shamea and Porsha stuff. I would have went live, but I was trying to avoid any internet issues right during my live. So I was like, oh, let me just record because that way I can kind of control what happens. And then I had to keep re-editing the video. So that just took up so much extra time. And my whole day was thrown off. And then the Malcolm Jamal Warner thing, I was like, oh, I couldn't. I just couldn't. I couldn't. All right. Let's talk about Basketball Wives. and the great Mollywop of 2025. All right, the Mollywopping of 2025. So what we're talking about today is um what we're talking about today is Basketball Wives season 12, episode 11, and the episode is titled Aloha Bees. And the description reads as such: Trouble in Paradise continues as the tensions in the friend group come to a head. Brittany faces off with Brandy. Evelyn confronts Jackie, and Ty finalizes the split with Ming, and Chantel and Jackie are set on a collision course. All right. Simply Shamar says, don't care how mad I am with my adult child. I am not going to get into a clobber stomp match with said child on TV for ratings and relevancy. Thank you for the super chat. I appreciate it. This is such a there's so much to unpack in this episode. First things first, I'm gonna give the episode a 10 out of 10. And I don't want you to think it is because I condone mollywopping. It is not that. It is that when you think about this episode in the context of the franchise, Basketball Wives LA in general, it's kind of full circle with Jackie. And this episode to me really signaled that that's what was happening here. When we first meet Jackie Christie, she is literally the picture of perfection, right? The perfect marriage, or so it seemed. The kids, there were rumors about her in the streets with regards to being a basketball wife, and her, I don't want to call it jealousy, but like her staunch, like protection of her husband Doug. And so by the end of season 1 of Basketball Wives LA, if you guys recall, Jackie had been the ringleader of, not really, the ringleader of sort of this witch hunt against Drea. Do you guys recall that though? Do you, if holla if you with me? So this again, I'm gonna take you on this journey with me, right? And I really thought about it, and I remember thinking it kind of felt a little unfair to Drea. I mean, because the girl might have had a past or whatever like that, but she's out here obviously in over her head with these ladies trying to figure her way, and she ultimately becomes a fan favorite before her own undoing on the show. But she still got out alive, right? She still came out of it thriving. The following season, we see Laura Govan. And I think she regrets it later, but she ends up having a conversation with Chantel about Jackie in that season. So if you recall, there were rumblings of this not so perfect family unit back then. All right. So I'm gonna take you back, right? This was season 2. Those things kind of come to the surface. But circle around this season, was it season 3, I believe, or season 4? I think it was season 3. The next time we see Chantel, she's actually with Jackie, and they are yet again confronting Drea. So it seemed as though maybe things are back on track with Jackie and Chantel as they confront Drea and her and the guy that Drea and maybe Chantel were kind of dating at the time. It's been so long. I really need to go back and rewatch it and do a deep dive. But I'm gonna give you a partial dive right here. Now, then in a future season, as Jackie is beefing with Evelyn, we learn about Takari and her angst with her mom and her family. Now, Takara is Jackie's other daughter. So we again, this picture of the perfect family life is sort of like, oh, there's some cracks here. As all families have cracks to various forms or degrees. I don't, and I'm just getting, there's a point that I'm trying to make here. So just follow with me as I make my case. Okay. I probably should have been, this is where I should have been an attorney. Okay. All right. So then as we go back through that dynamic and we remember the book and all of that, Evelyn, is trying to support the daughter and Jackie becoming enraged by that. We know that there are some deeper issues now within this family dynamic. We know it. So it's really interesting to me that we would get Chantel on the show. It's quite interesting that we would get her on the show. So to me, this sort of very serious unraveling of this family, I don't know that we've seen something like this since Joe, Teresa, and Melissa Gorga on a franchise. And maybe there are other shows out there that I don't watch that this has happened on, but that's the closest thing I can think to something of this nature happening to this degree within a family that we're so used to seeing, right? And then with family members being brought in to the mix that clearly have an issue with the main person on the show. Chantel clearly has an issue with Jackie, whether it was how she was raised, whether it was, we learn a lot more in this episode, which I'm kind of frustrated about because we have been asking all season to understand what is going on with Chantel. What is wrong? What is your issue with Jackie? Because we don't know. So if we're viewers of the show, especially a casual viewer who may not even have remembered all of this, we are kind of stuck on silly because we don't know what the prime issue is because it wasn't just what happened in this episode. When Chantel finally does address Jackie, it is about talking smack about Brandy. But it is not about the things that she tells Brittany and Denise of JJ Fad. It is not those issues that she brings up with Jackie in the episode, at least from what we see. Now, editing maybe could have changed the game a little bit, but what we see in the episode does not relate to these tumultuous childhood issues, which I readily admit, yeah, like you may have those issues. You may, but take them to her then. I mean, really take them to her, but and y'all need probably have a counselor on hand while you do it. That to me would have been a bit more of a responsible way to manage the situation, to mitigate it. Well, I take that back. We have sort of seen this type of sort of crumbling of family dynamics on Braxton Family Values, but at least in those instances, they did try to mitigate those family issues when they blew up to a head by bringing in Iyanla and other therapists, right? But it didn't go so well with Iyanla. Bruce with the super chat. Let me pause for a second. Says Jackie wasn't wrong in this case. Chantel has been antagonizing her mom all season, and everyone forgets she pushed her mom first. I don't condone this. Okay. Okay, so we have all of that going on. And again, this is the full circle of why I'm telling you this episode was so interesting to me, because also in this episode, that's where we finally do get the explanation from Chantel that there is some trauma that she has experienced. Something happened to her that she ended up telling Jackie about. Jackie dismissed it. She does not go into what. The only thing that we can do is piece together something that she alleged about Takari on social media, but it did not make it to air. Okay, so we don't get the full scope of that, and I think that's something that they need to handle in therapy again. Yes, but it's just interesting to see that play out on this show. All the while, we also have the Brittany of it all wrestling with dynamics of religion and faith in a way that we have never seen before on this particular show. So you've got this fractured relationship with this mother and daughter, this very interesting transition into the Muslim faith, just in terms of diving into what it means to someone who was previously seemed very volatile in terms of how she reacted to situations in the one season that she was on previously. There's a lot of dynamics at play here. We've got a marriage that happened in this season that people did not agree with. So this season has low-key been one of the most epic seasons. And for a lot of reasons, it's also felt very heavy. Okay. And I don't know whether that's going to be ultimately a good or a bad thing for the franchise. It's bad if the heaviness is what causes the season not to have a reunion, when this is probably the most needed season, the season that needed a reunion the most. So Model S says Chantel wanted sympathy from everyone for the deeper issues, but we don't know what those are, and those issues don't belong on this show. I agree with you. And my other situation that I do kind of wonder is, where was Shawnee in all of this? Like, if there was ever a time for Shawnee to kind of step in and maybe be the sort of mother of the church in this in any situation, it would have been this situation with Chantel and Jackie. I think I would have expected Shawnee to just, I don't know why, I just would have expected this would have been a. Can you imagine it? Whether you like Giselle or not, sometimes Giselle plays the role of big sister almighty very well in terms of the advice that she gives to some of the ladies. You may like her or loathe her in other aspects, but I do think that she has an interesting place on the show when it comes down to giving out that type of advice. It would have been interesting to see Shawnee take that type of role in this, because it's needed right now, right? Lady D. Hannah says Chantel blames Jackie for her toxic childhood, but Doug is equally at fault. A father's job is to protect. So this was going to be my other question, Lady D. Hannah. I'm so glad you brought this up, because when Chantel details these things that occurred with her in the past, what I notice is that while she states in the episode that Jackie would instill like the fear of Doug in her, like, oh my God, if you do this, if you get in trouble, your father is going to come push you down the stairs. That's literally what Chantel says. But Chantel says, I never noticed anything like that she never noticed anything like that from Doug, any behavior like that from Doug. So then my other question was, did she tell also, listen, she's a child, so I don't know how, who's to say how a child is supposed to handle these things? Because I think that a child is still a child and they don't know. But I also do wonder, were any of these things also communicated to Doug when there was nothing that came of them from Jackie. So, I mean, but that could also be some form of manipulation that occurred. We just don't know if there was this fear instilled for Doug. It would stand to reason that that would be the reason why she would not go to Doug with those issues. So it's kind of I mean, I don't know. I can only go by what Chantel is saying, but I would imagine that if there's this fear being instilled in her for her father, that would be the reason why maybe she didn't go to him when these things were alleged. I can't say allegedly because I don't know what they were when these things were happening, whatever they were. All right. The other thing that I wonder is Chantel in this episode, and this goes back to the Jackie of it all. Chantel in this episode alleges that Doug is going to be leaving Jackie. Now, I want to take this back to ever since I started this season, I've seen comments on social media about some alleged, trouble going on with Jackie and Doug. So when Chantel says it in this episode and then says, I'm not taking it and I'm not lying, I'm kind of like, is that true? Because now it has all the other ladies wondering as well. So again, it is this, the image that we first came in with Jackie, and then where we are now by way of the revelations of her daughter is just an interesting space to be in. It's a very interesting space to be in for someone who has technically been a lead on this show. And Sandy Storm says this: being a woman is hard. We are always to blame for the family trauma, the husband's infidelity. We are tired. I guess then the question that I would have is that there is, I don't think this is not, I view things in a different light. I mean, a husband's infidelity is the husband's infidelity. This is probably an aspect that I'm not really qualified to really speak on. So I can't really say how this really plays out. But what I can say is from an observer's perspective is that the daughter is the one who is blaming the mom. So there's another woman who is a grown woman who is blaming the initial woman, the mother, for the issues. So I don't know. That's the part that I don't necessarily know about. But again, it's family trauma that's showing up on television. That's essentially what this is. Simply Shomar says, Vashonda isn't going isn't going to interject when she isn't directly involved, which is a shame because, like you said, it is needed. It was definitely needed. It was definitely needed in this moment. Definitely. That's why I'm crying about that. You used Vashonda. Okay. How YC TV says, I get what Sandy Storm's saying. Everyone included the kids has put the blame solely at Jackie's feet. Impossible that she's a horrible mom in a 2-parent home, but Doug was just the perfect parent. A part of me wonders how much Doug was present because maybe he was playing ball and traveling a lot. So did a lot of the burden of parenting just fall solely on Jackie? That's what we also don't know either. It's just hard because it's hard because we were not there. We can only go by the bits that we've gotten from season 1 to now. So I just say all that to say that we've come a long way with this whole situation with Jackie. It definitely felt like the unraveling of Jackie Christie in this episode. Despite who hit who first, we're about to get into that as well. All right. Um, a couple of things that we can discuss. Again, I thought it was important to go back through the history because I think it informs where we are today in a way that is unpleasant regardless, right? Um, and clearly there's some trauma that's happened there that we weren't privy to. What we see in the episode versus the is the surface, and I feel like there is an entire iceberg under the water that we really aren't necessarily as as sure of. And we have to address that elephant that's in the room because to do so, I feel like would just be irresponsible. But that then pulls into the question: was is the show responsible for showing us this, or are they just following the story? And that is up for you to determine. All right, so listen, let's get into some other things. This episode really hinges around Jackie and Chantel's 2 confrontations in this episode. Everything else is kind of like things that happened around it, right? So you have the ladies at the beach with Jackie when the big 3 go off and they do their ATV excursion. The other ladies are at the beach, the OGs. Evelyn confronts Jackie because she's basically like, your daughter is trying to talk to you and you keep walking off. I ain't gonna lie to y'all. I be tired of Jackie I'm tired of Jackie walking off. I get it. I get it. I get it. But at the end of the day, Jackie, just sit there. Okay. Um, Literally, just sit there and and it, at least try to resolve something. Because every time you walk off, now we gotta try to set the scene all over again and do it all over again. And I'm tired. All right. So sit down, eat your food, and have a drink. Even if you just sit there on mute. Because girl, can we get through the scene? That's all I'm asking for. And yet again, she walks off when I don't even understand. What I don't understand also too is how the Evelyn and Jackie of it all, like, to be frank with you, if Shawnee wasn't going to be there, then Evelyn's task should be, in my opinion, since you have such a great relationship with your daughter, would be more or less trying to say, Jackie, I think let's me and you have a real conversation. Just running off and calling Jackie a hoe and expose like and just trying to go in on her, that ain't really what she needs. It's not. Whether you like Jackie or not, it's not what she needs. So give her the medicine that she needs instead of the entertainment that you think that the cameras want. Because this is like a for real matter. And if you really do care about Chantel, then you also got to care about, to some degree, Jackie. So try to fix the issue with Jackie. You calling her a whore is not really going to help this situation. That's just my opinion. Also, too, I don't know how we get from that to now calling Jennifer a long faced girl. Why, Jackie? Why wouldn't how did Jennifer get sprayed in this situation? I'm still trying to figure that part out. And I when Jackie hauled off and called Jennifer a long face, like I was like, see, okay. So yet again, they send Jackie off running, running, running. And I'm like, oh my God. Um, there's a situation where Brittany has some type of revelation in this episode after speaking with some other, ladies who have a bit more experience. And she is definitely moved by them. So she ultimately at dinner addresses Brandy. And She does so by basically saying, "Yeah, I thought that you were pretty weak for, going for allowing your husband to do these things and staying married to him." And it's like, girl, do you know that the streets are saying that you changed your whole religion for a dude? So the same could be said for you. Like, but what I did like is that Brittany realizes that I'm judging you. And so when I'm judged back, it hurts. Yeah, girl, stop it. And actually just simmer down in general. Why don't you spend more time? Here's my thing. Brittany always comes into this group acting like she is so much above all of the drama. But it's like, girl, you keep coming back. You've seen this show. You know what it is. If you're not with the drama, then stay your butt at home. Like, I don't need you bringing down the energy of every scene talking about how toxic it all is. Girl, we know it's toxic, but we can deal with this toxic because it's in a controlled environment set in a reality TV show setting. We know. You're telling us things that we already know. We know this. So if you don't want to be a part of the toxicity, as you say, then get out, pack your bags, and go. Like, we don't need you telling us in every episode that this is a reality TV show that's centered around drama. Girl, we've been watching it for seasons. We know. Chances are we've been watching 12 other shows that are just like this. Okay? This is nothing new. You're not coming in here. You're not setting anything ablaze. You're not telling us breaking news. Just stop it. Go and sit down in the corner. Okay? What did Nene tell LaToya Jackson? Go and run and cry in the corner. Because I'm tired of hearing about it. All right? F it, we all got pain. Let us have our entertainment without you trying to break the fourth wall every time and tell us how toxic it is. Girl, bye. Goodbye. Good night. Anyway, now she realizes as Brandy accepts her apology that, oh gosh, maybe I'm the toxic person here. This is what sisterhood is all about. Ah! Girl, get out of my face. Get out of my face. I want the best for Brittany. I really do. But it's like, girl, do you know where you are? Stop signing on to this stuff if you don't really want to be here. Because this you taking up space that somebody else who could be doing some stuff. Like, if you don't want this, then go. If you don't want me, then don't talk to me. Go ahead and free yourself. I'm gonna go through some super chats real quick. Adrian says, and we thank you, Adrian says, infidelity is brutal. Most times kids are unaware, and Jackie had to be the perfect parent. Been there, husbands lie on wife to the family. Okay. Listen, I'm here to soak in all of your thoughts and your opinions because it always adds value when you share your perspective and somebody else can see it. All right. How I See It TV says season 2 in the therapy sessions, Chantel said her issue was Jackie was always on the road providing and the grandma raised them. Go back and watch. I'm about to now. About to, because now I got to see it. It's nice to have that refresher. I wanted to see if I missed anything. Y'all, hold on. Mel NYC Review says, first Takari, now Chantel. Jackie is such a pick-me. She's one of those women who drag their daughters but see their sons as kings. It's interesting to me because in every interview I see, Jackie is talking about there must be two different Jackies. I'm gonna tell y'all the truth. I had a dream last night. In the dream, I was sitting beside Jennifer Williams at some type of sports event. And something happened, and there was one Jackie over here, and there was another Jackie over here. The one Jackie over here had her hair pulled back. It was kind of like messed up, like she had been in a tussle. And then there was a more polished Jackie that was over here. Her hair was all slicked down. And I'm thinking to myself, first of all, when I woke up, I was like, why am I dreaming about this? But in the dream, why I thought it was somebody at the door. Lord, I'm seeing things. Anyway, in the dream, the one with the tussle hair came down and she mollywopped Jen. This was in my dream. Okay. This is why I need to stop watching these shows before I go to bed. Okay. So now I'm thinking to myself, are there two different Jackies? Is there a Jackie that there's a Jackie that we see on TV, which is what Chantel references. But there seems to be this Mr. Hyde Jackie. Ah, the way Chantel describes it and the way these people on the show respond to Jackie is as though there is a boogeyman version of Jackie. Jackie is a full cast. So I'm trying to figure out what Jackie do we see? Okay. What Jackie are the Jackie I see makes me crack up laughing. But there's a Jackie that Sunday has described, that other people have described. The way the ladies respond to her on the show leads me to think that there is a Jackie that they are experiencing that is very different from the Jackie that we see on the screen. I'm going to address Chantel because I think that there's still some things to address with her. So give me 1 second. I'm definitely, I think that Jackie that there is some things that are going on with Chantel as well. Okay. Mollywop. Because you got to find creative ways to say put them pause on them on the YouTube. Okay. So if you can find a creative way, then you find a creative way. And people know, even if you don't know what that word means, you can use your context clue and you can understand. Mollywop sounds like, ooh, somebody got it. Somebody got it. All right. Somebody got it. Okay. Nope. And that's just the way I like it. Okay, now that I'm done with Brittany, I mean, I want Brittany to just be whoever it is that you want to be in the moment. But stop acting like you're above all this when you keep showing up to the same job that you obviously don't like. Either quit or come or be all in and deal with it. One of the things that I respect about Ty is that you could tell Ty ain't really full with drama. She's not. She ain't. But Ty is still down to play the game, but she does it her way. And Brittany needs to take a few cues from Ty on how to insert yourself and still get the job done and navigate this show with ease. And you did it your way. Period. Speaking of Ty, so Ty gives Ming back a ring. The ring didn't mean a thing. All right. And clearly it didn't. So Ty gives Ming back the ring and says, you need to give it to the man that you got tattooed on you. Ty is upset. And I've been feeling like this for the entire season. I feel like Ming been playing around with Ty. Like, I feel like Ty really seemed like she was really feeling Ming. But maybe Ming is just still so hurt by the alleged Drew connection that she just was like, you know what? I've been hurt by you for too long. And I'm not dealing with your ish no more. So now I done gone back to the men. And because you ain't no good. All you want is Drew. All you want is Drew Sella, as Phaedra says. So, mm, mm, mm. And there you have it. They are still unsettled. I'll be interested to see if they come back next season. I hope they do because I want to see Ty dating somebody else. I want to see Ming dating somebody else. Who is Ming really dating? Who is tattooed on your arm, Ming? Adrian says Jackie has life experiences others can't compare to. I believe that's true. I believe it's true. There's obviously a chain of dysfunction, and I'm not sure where it started, but there's a chain there. Lady Dehanna says it's gonna be a dad's day when Chantel realizes she turned into her mother on camera. I hope she breaks the cycle. Ooh, I just got to chill, Lady Dehanna, because that's where we needed to go. For as much as Chantel dislikes something that her mother has done this season for them to have gotten to this point, Chantel, I don't think, realizes that she is becoming a version of her mother in some respects. It may be different. It may look different with how she parents, but it is very it seems very combative in the way that maybe we've seen Jackie be combative on this show. So that you said this is very interesting because I had a similar thought. We see two confrontations with Jackie and Chantel. Confrontation one is it felt to me, and I'm just gonna be real with you. It felt to me that Jackie was speaking calmly to Chantel in both occurrences, wanting to know what the issues were. Now, were there things that probably triggered Chantel? I'm sure that there were. I'm sure that there's something in Jackie's tone that is triggering for Chantel that makes her feel on edge. And before Jackie can even hear what the issues really are, because Chantel wants to to talk about Brandy, and Jackie wants to talk about them. And I think that because those two things are misaligned, you end up with confrontation because they're not listening to each other. And I feel like Chantel is so triggered that whatever Jackie says is the wrong thing. And she literally runs Jackie off. Jackie gets to running. She tells Jackie that she's going to violate her. Okay. And so this is where Chantel loses me a bit because versus addressing the issues that you actually truly have, it turns volatile very, very easily. And I'm not saying that this is not based on pent up, anger, trauma from the years. But what I can say is that it's not productive. And if you're not intent on being productive in the conversation, then what do you expect? You're going to be if you're going to have hostility met with hostility if you keep going down this road because you know she's hostile if pushed and now you are hostile because you feel like you've been pushed. So is it really a good time to talk? Maybe not. Right? If you come to the table and say, "My goal is to hash out our issues," then let's talk about the real issues and Brandy ain't one of them. Autumn Fall says, "Why is it okay for Evelyn to get involved in Jackie's family business but wanted to harm Jennifer for speaking on her daughter?" I think it's probably more so because Chantel is a part of the cast officially, and Evelyn's daughter is kind of more of a supporting character by way of this is my child. In either instance, that's why I don't feel like it's okay for Evelyn to get involved in that way. If anything, because of Evelyn's relationship with Chantel being what it is, my expectation for Evelyn would be that you, in some way, shape, or form, step outside of the role that you play on this show in terms of being the sort of instigator and what Evelyn's role. That's her job. I get it, but at the same time it's like now let's stretch beyond where we have been and let's really try to like help these two ladies navigate where they need to go, and I just don't see her doing that. Is it her responsibility? No, but would it be nice? Yes. Dr. C says Richie sent you a Jackie meme. Did you send it via Instagram? Where you send it at? Let me know, tell me where you sent it at, and I'll try to find it in the chat. Autumn Fall says the Bible says honor thy mother and thy father. I mean, I listen, I would never have that type of like incident with my parents, but I don't know their story, so it's so hard to say. Um, so Model S says Chantel doesn't know what accountability is either, and that's the part that I kind of want to say is that it's like, Chantel, you got to take some responsibility in where you are now, right? I get that these things have happened to you and they've happened over time, and you have every right to feel hurt by them. But let's get to the hurt so we can get to the healing. And we can't ever get to the healing if we can't ever get to the hurt, because we staying mad more than we are anything else. And so if you don't want to have a relationship with your mom, that's a thing too. And you can just simply not have it. And that would be it. That would be fine. Maybe not fine, but it's just, if that's where you at, that's where you at. Hey, boo. I gotta call you when I get off. Oh, on Snapchat. Okay. Good to know. Thank you, boo. All right. Um This is a good analogy. So Jackie's sneezing because it's allergy season. But last year I told her that's not how you sneeze. And a year later, Jackie's sneezing again. Rude. She want me to say bless you. That's what it feels like a little bit, you know? So then the following conversation, after Chantel has chased Jackie all throughout the hotel and everybody has seen it, including Brandy and Jennifer and Ty, Ty convinces Chantel to have yet another conversation with Jackie. And in my opinion, Jackie answered the door, welcomed her in, sat down pleasantly, and asked her, what is the problem that you want to address with me? I am here to listen. Chantel then says, I'm here to tell you that we're done. Okay. In my opinion, Chantel, if that's it, then let that be it. We're done. I'm gonna go. You will never see me or your son again. Bye-bye. But I think what it felt like to me was Chantel wanted a reaction out of Jackie. I feel like she wanted Jackie to fight for Chantel to really tell her what problem she has, because either Jackie doesn't know or Jackie is acting like she doesn't know. Regardless, if Chantel can't express it, then we will never understand it either. And maybe Jackie doesn't get it, because Jackie could, maybe she is living in her own little bubble. But at the end of the day, I feel like if you're not going to get down into the nitty gritty of what the issues are in a conversation, there's no point in sitting down. And then as you're leaving, there's no point in turning back around. The moment Chantel turned back around is like, girl, like, what do you expect is going to happen? Hostility is going to be met with hostility, because both of y'all are hostile. At this, like, Jackie's hostile when pushed. And I'm gonna give you this. There have been many occasions where, to my annoyance, Jackie has walked away. And I felt like Jackie walking away was probably the best thing for her to do, because if she knows that she's volatile and that Chantel can get volatile too, then it's kind of like, it makes me wonder now. It makes me wonder. Have y'all fought before? Now I got to wonder this. Have they fought before? And if so, how many times? And if y'all fought before, why would y'all do this show together? Anyway, Chantel comes back and she gets down. Is this how you think you look good in this situation? You think you look good? And Jackie's like, I'm going to ask you to leave. I'm going to ask you to leave my room. So she gets up. Now, I don't know if Jackie was about to guide her out the room or if Jackie was about to move past her. What I do know is Chantel puts her hand on Jackie, and at that point, Jackie hauls off and mollywops the mess out of her daughter. Okay? The moment Chantel gets the mollywop, she is activated to 1,000. You put your hands on me, and she chucks her phone. She's trying to hit with the purse. Security comes in. I was actually shocked that they showed it, to be honest with you. You know, a lot of times they'll black that thing out these days. But no, they showed the Mollywop. They showed it. Now, a part of me is like, if they had not shown it, we would not have known what happened. We wouldn't have seen it. But because we saw it, it's a little easier for us to say, it's a little easier for a lot of people to say, well, Chantel, you technically made contact first. But again, it's hostility met with hostility. And I wish with anything in my being that Chantel had just walked out of the room. She should have just walked out of the room. Neither one of them are right in this situation, but she should have walked out of the room. When situations get that volatile, I always say, when situations are going up, it is going to go down. Okay, that's one of those situations you got to know when it's going up, it's going to go down. Period. Especially after you threatened to violate her earlier. So Chantel goes back and she talks to the rest of the ladies, and she tells the ladies that, yeah, she hit me. And I did love the way that they edited the episode. It was a lot. It was a lot in this episode. It was a lot. And so we're left with some more drama happening next week. I'm telling you, I just that's what it felt like. It felt like Chantel is just going in, and Jackie just running and running and running and running and running and running and running. And the next thing you know, Jackie explodes. I don't know what Chantel expected to happen. And maybe so, Brown Mama. You know, they wanted us to see it. They need their performance for ratings. But I mean, that's where you get to the point where, as cast members, you have to say, what am I, where is the line for me? Autumn Fall says, I find it ironic that Shawnee went off on OG for exposing Brian not being Kristen's real father. However, you're letting people expose Jackie's family not once, but 3 times. Yeah, I just think that for me, oh man, I missed it. Oh, you know, I love it when I see it. Yeah, I just find it. I wish that Shawnee had kind of stepped in, and I get that she can't be there at everything, and she's not going to be the savior for these ladies because they have to save themselves. But I think it would have been a good show of faith. But you know, she's, I'm sure, not the only producer involved. So yeah, you know, when Chantel relays this to the rest of the ladies, she says that Jackie swung on her, and so of course all of the ladies are on her side because they've only heard Chantel's side. They didn't see the interaction. But I also don't think that the other ladies really see it for Jackie like that, because I do think that they are experiencing another Jackie that they don't like. White Tiger says, I wonder if the rest of the ladies will have a different reaction and seeing how the fight happened, knowing that Chantel pushed Jackie first. That's what I want to know. And that's why I feel like we need a reunion, because I just think that, how will the ladies feel when they see the episode back? Like, how will the ladies feel when they see it? Because it wasn't, I mean, the way that these things went down, the audience has a different perspective than the rest of the ladies. And I wonder what they think now, having seen the episodes. I don't know that we'll ever find that out. I mean, and it also has me wondering who's coming back next season. Is Chantel coming back? Is Jackie coming back? How are they going to work that out? It doesn't seem like these two ladies should be around each other at this point. I don't know. I don't know, man. And again, it did seem like there have been so many seasons that seemed like the unraveling of Jackie, but no more has it been captured in this light and like it has been in this season. Um, do you want Jackie to return or would you prefer Chantel or both? Chime in the chat. Who do you want back? Jackie, Chantel, or both? I'm looking at your chat. I'm looking at the chat. It definitely left me wondering, where do we go from here as a show? Like, what's next? Where do you go after this? I mean, for me, I'm not a fan of canceling shows because the shows are the reason why we all get the chance to talk. So I'm not a fan of saying, let's cancel this show. That's just not where I'm at. Um, but I am a fan of, if you don't like it, don't watch it and just come and hang out with us, right? At least give me something to talk about. This was definitely a blood pressure raising episode. Okay. That's probably why I was dreaming. But anyway, y'all let me know what y'all think. I tried to break it down as thoroughly as I possibly could. I tried to do it from at least a very sensitive place, but also I felt like it was necessary to look at the context of the show and really understand what we have seen over the years, where we've been and where we are now, to try to get a better understanding of like what really is going on. And I don't think we will ever really know. Jackie refuses to speak about Chantel at this point, so I don't know what we do now. So let me know what y'all think. If you're watching this later, hopefully you like this video. Like this video before we leave the chat, y'all. Subscribe to this channel if you haven't already done so. And with that being said, I will catch you guys in the next video.